I'm just gonna give it to you straight. The one thing that is the best thing you can do, the best possible thing you can do to reduce how much weed you smoke and also get higher from smoking after doing this thing, without actually trying to change the amount of weed that you smoke, is to exercise. And there's a few reasons why. I genuinely believe this is the best thing you can do. If you don't want to, let's say you're trying to quit weed, or you just, even if you don't want to quit weed and you're just trying to get higher, the number one thing you can do other than take a tea break or, just cut down your weed and eventually stop smoking, is to just exercise. You don't have to change how much you smoke. It's great. So, number one reason for the people trying to quit, number one reason is because exercise, we already know it releases endorphins and stuff, but it actually also releases endocannabinoids, which is basically just chemicals that come from inside your body, hence endo, and bind to the cannabinoid receptors. So as we know, binding to the cannabinoid receptors is basically what makes weed feel satisfying. So we don't really have any cannabinoids that we can give you for withdrawals. So take for example with alcohol, right? With alcohol withdrawals, they give you Valium usually, sometimes other benzos, because they both bind to the GABA receptor. And if you're withdrawing from alcohol, there's not enough chemicals going into the GABA receptor, so you need to put something there so that you don't go into acute withdrawal and with alcohol possibly die if you're coming off too strong. With weed, sadly, they just give you Valium as well, because they're just trying to calm your anxiety, because they're like, oh, you can't die, it's fine, just fucking sit there and suffer. But if you wanted to have a similar effect to this sort of what's the word for it? It's like a withdrawal. Basically, if you want to stop withdrawals as best as you can, but there's not really anything you can take to actually lessen the withdrawals other than Valium, then exercise. It will literally produce inside your body, naturally, stuff that binds to the cannabinoid receptors. That's why, for some people, and personally, anecdotally, I've experienced this, and I've heard clinicians talk about this, like doctors talk about this. Exercise actually is the closest thing to imitate the feeling of being high on weed. So if you're not smoking weed anymore already, and you want that feeling again, I'd probably exercise if I were you. So the second point, this one's a bit more anecdotal, and I'm sure, so first point was more for the people trying to quit. Second point is more for the people that still want to smoke bud, but they want to get higher. Maybe they don't want to take a tea break, because that's fucking excruciating, we all know that. And then your tolerance goes straight back anyway, because you're not actually off it long enough. You need to be off it for like a month to actually get it completely out of your system. So with exercise, you metabolize weed faster. Now, I haven't actually specifically found any like scientific evidence to prove this, but in my experience, I am 90% sure that it works. It's worked for me pretty much every time. I went through a period of my life where I was working full time and I couldn't smoke in the mornings because I had to be on my performance during the day. Like I wasn't working like construction or something where you can just fucking do a bunch of ice and then go be a concreter or something. But so I couldn't smoke in the morning. As soon as I got off work, I'd want to smoke. But at the time I was doing Muay Thai, the kind of training I'm doing right now, which is my exercise, and I have it right after work, but I just couldn't wait any longer to smoke. So I would sometimes do it before Muay Thai, and then I'd go to Muay Thai high, and to be honest, my lungs were sore, so my cardio wasn't as good, my reaction time was way off, I'd fuck up the combos, and my drilling partners would get annoyed that I couldn't do the combos. I'd get clocked in the head a few times because I didn't block. But those are the reasons I'd probably say, like, because I really love Muay Thai, I would say it's better if I just completely quit it. But at the time, I was smoking every day. Before this job, I was smoking all the time, literally. And this time I was only smoking at night. So I would smoke sometimes after training, but sometimes before training. And when I'd smoke before training, I'd have a really long, hard training session, and then I'd get back after the session, and obviously we all know the first smoke of the day is going to be really fucking good, but the second smoke of the day after that training session was always I'd always get so much higher than if, say, I smoked before the session, didn't do the session, and then smoked again later. It's just not comparable. I got so much higher, and what I realized is that probably the exercise, stuff circulating through your body, and again, not very scientific, but if you are still trying to smoke bottom, you probably don't really care that much anyway about the science. Shit flows through your body. You have to process stuff faster. You need to digest your food so you can use it for energy. You need to repair your muscles and all that stuff. And obviously, maybe if you are losing fat from the exercising, it's gonna dissolve that fat, the weed stored in your fat cells. When you go back to smoke after you've exercised, the weed's actually been processed through faster, so you don't have to wait as long to get just as high. So that's pretty awesome. I would probably, even let's say you're still smoking, but you want to quit, if you're still smoking, whether you want to quit or whether you don't, I would exercise, because there's benefits for either of you. And then the last reason, this one's for everyone. It's not just whether to divide the people that want to quit and the people that just want to get higher. But the third point is kind of obvious, but it's just something to do. If you're sitting around smoking weed all day, then you probably don't have much to do. Like, just being honest with you, I know I didn't. So, like, if you've got nothing to do, go train, like, go to the gym, go for a run, do martial arts, whatever it is you want to do, Pilates, like, fucking do something. exercise. It'll fill your time and it'll give you something that eventually is going to be enjoyable, if it's not already, other than weed. And trust me, I've been exercising for a long time. I've spoken to lots of people who exercise for a long time, and not a single one of them tells me that they don't feel good after exercising. Everyone feels good after exercising if they've been doing it long enough. Me, I feel good when I'm exercising as well as after. You might get there if you exercise more. But the point of this video is, if you smoke weed and you want to smoke less weed, or you want to get higher, exercise more. It's the single best tool that I can give you if you want to do these things. So yeah, it's a bit of a simple one, but that's it for today. Thanks for listening.